Hello, welcome to satsang everyone. Have a nice Friday. Today we will start the satsang with a Sabbath by Jay Sri. O Surat, hear me, your Lord dwells high above. Then we have a talk by Michael and a talk by Dr. Sant. Topic is Unflinched Faith. After that, we'll meditate 5 minutes to watch Master's YouTube talk, and then we will have group meditation with love and devotion. Let's start. Thank you so much. Bye.
Radha Swamiji, can you hear me? Okay. Today's Shabad is by Swamiji Maharaj. It's Vachan 19वां, Shabad 6वां. O Surat, hear me. Your Lord dwells high above. Forsake the company of this paramour, the mind. Behold the refulgence of your beloved Lord. Follow Guru, and you will find abode in the unchangeable region. Take the Sharan of Sad, so that you may get an abode in Shabad. The body you are caged in belongs to Kal, Why do you cherish hopes and expectations from an alien? The noose of the pleasures of the 10 senses have been put around your neck. You are tied down to the 9 apertures. You have no rest even for a single breath. Open the 10th window and enjoy true bliss. The perfect Sadguru gives you this advice. You should believe him and accept his words. Utter the name of Radhaswami. All karmas will be eradicated, vanish. Beautiful meaning. So here is the Shabad. Surat sun बातरी तेरा धनी बसे आकाश सूरत सुन बातरी तेरा धनी बसे आकाश तजो संग जारी तू देख पिया प्रकाश चलो गुरु की लारी तो पावे अजर निवास गहो शरण कोई साधरी जो मिले शबद गर बांस सूरत सुन बातरी तेरा धनी बसे आकाश तन पिंजराए कालिका क्यों करे पराई आस 10 इंद्री के भोग की तेरी पड़ी गले में फांस सूरत सुन बातरी तेरा धनी बसे आकाश 9 द्वारन में बंद रही अब चैन नहीं एक श्वास 10वीं खिड़की खोल रही कर परम बिलास सतगुरु पूरी कह रहे तो मान वचन विश्वास सतगुरु पूरी कह रहे तो मान वचन विश्वास राधा स्वामी नाम भज होई करम सब नाश राधा स्वामी नाम भज होई करम सब नाश सूरत सुन बातरी तेरा धनी बसे आकाश तेरा धनी बसे आकाश. Thank you for Seva.
Sister Jayashri, wow, you always give us treasure words of the masters, and your shabd is so appreciated and so loved. I just like can meditate on your voice. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank you.
you. Oh, my dear holy family, my dear brothers and sisters, welcome to another day of love where we lift our hearts to God and we fill it. He fills it up for us with His grace, with His mercy, with His forgiveness, and with His knowledge, the knowledge and the wisdom that comes from satsang. As initiation is sowing the seed, but after sowing the seed of initiation, then it has to be watered with the words of satsang, with satsang. The seed is watered with satsang and with concentration, which is meditation. This is the water, the food of the seed, the water of life that makes the seed sprouts. Once the seed of initiation is sown, it can never be lost. Sometimes, if the disciple does not start to meditate, does not start to go to satsang because of the heavy load of karma, then the seed does not sprout and the karma becomes heavy. But once that karma becomes lighter and the disciple pays off that karmic debt, then the seeds will start to sprout. As the seed that is sown by a perfect master can never, ever, ever be lost. Even if a perfect master takes a look at us, if we were like out walking on a train or in the market and the perfect master just looks at us, then that look is never lost. And that look becomes a seed, and that seed will have to sprout even after 3, 4, 5, or 6 lives or 7 lives. Doesn't matter, but that look that a perfect master has taken on us, that will never ever be lost. There are so many stories of the perfect masters. One guy was on a train, on a train, on a fast train, and Baba Sawan Singh was on the ground, and that their two eyes met for even a split of a second. When their two eyes met, that person on the train felt, wow, what a holy man has looked at me. And then when he was on his deathbed, he was seeing Baba Sawan Singh. And then when they showed him a picture of Baba Sawan Singh, he said, yes, that is the man I saw for a split of a second when I was riding the train. So imagine how powerful a look of a God man is on us. It will never be lost. Every time a God man looks at us, thousands and millions of karmas are washed away. They are washed away by His mercy, by His grace. Why? Because He has the authority. He has the authority to handle our karmas. He has the authority to rewrite our destiny. He has the authority to do anything He wants, as He is the maker of the whole show. He is the Alpha, the Omega, and in between. His orders are final. Nobody can question the orders of the perfect living Master. That once He gives an order, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, the creator, sustainer, and destroyer, all the angels, everybody in this creation have to bow down to the perfect master and accept the order. This is how powerful the perfect master is. The perfect master is absolute divinity, and that is total awareness. Total awareness. There is a difference between consciousness and awareness. As consciousness is transforming and changing, and every consciousness has an awareness in it. But the awareness, and there can be no consciousness without awareness. That awareness is the absolute. Awareness is absolute God, and it is behind all the creation that has sprouted up. That there can never be consciousness, because what is consciousness? Consciousness, when we are conscious of something, it is one realm, and awareness is totality. That in each bubble of consciousness, in each realm of consciousness, there is awareness, and if we follow the road to that awareness from any bubble of consciousness, it will lead to total awareness, it will lead to absolute God, it will lead to the depth of the root of all creation. As all the saints and masters who have reached that total awareness beyond consciousness, they all said that there is in that land. Oh yeah, and there is a Kabir poem I will read to you. In that land, there is no day or night. There is no pleasure or pain. There is silence. However, that silence speaks by itself. The silence speaks. The silence becomes audible, and the emptiness is always full. This is what the saints describe of that stage of the original state of the soul, the original state of the soul. They call it the Sihaj, or the awareness, total awareness, absolute awareness. I will read a poem from Kabir about that stage. But in Jayashri, our dear sister, was in her Shabd was saying that we should leave the mind behind. Leave the mind behind and enter, hold the hand of the Satguru and enter into the spiritual regions. And according to Baba Sawan Singh's teachings, we have three types of mind inside of us, and all these minds, the three of them, have to be conquered or left behind or surpassed. And that is the Pindi mind, which is totally the outward attention, and connected with the senses and the pleasures. That is the Pindi mind. It debases the soul, and its always trend is going downward. And then there is the Brahmanda mind. The Brahmanda mind, it is inward, and it has the good desires. It has the good desires, and its tendency is to go inward and upward. And then the third one is the Niji. Niji, I think it's called Nij, Nij mind, and it's a drop of the second stage, Trikuti, and it lies the seed of all creation below Trikuti. So these three minds that Baba Sawan Singh said that we all have all to be surpassed in order for us to enter the spiritual regions. And of course, by concentration at the seat of the soul, at the house of love over here, where we withdraw all our attention from the outside world into this spot of love, the seat of the soul, then from here, from here, we can we can leave the physical body, we can leave the astral body, we can leave the causal body, we can leave the physical mind, the Pindi mind, the Brahmandi mind, and the Nij mind. That all these three can be left by the power of concentration, and also combined with the grace of the Master. That the grace of the Master combined, that we have to just come up here. That the Master, all he asks us to do is just come up here to the seat of the soul, and then it is all grace of the Master beyond that point, that he will lead us up. He will lead us up. And if we sit up here, and we keep trying and we keep praying for grace, then grace will lift us up. Grace will pull us. Grace will pull us into the regions of love, into the regions of bliss, and the regions of joy. Even if we are pulled for 1 second and we see some holy light, we see suns, moons, or stars, or the inner master, that is a progress. Ishwar Puri Ji in his satsang said that if we get one experience per day, that means we are progressing. We are progressing. And we keep trying. We keep trying all our best to sit up here as all the bliss, all the wonders, and everything that is outside lies within us. And we know we this life is just a lesson for us that when we seek the pleasures of this world, they are totally on the other side, there is pain. This is a cycle of pleasure, and then directly pain comes. So we learn the lesson that pleasure brings pain. It's like a vicious cycle, unending cycle, pleasure and then pain. So by meditation we leave behind all these desires that 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 grow that lead to pleasure and then pain, and then we go beyond the pleasure and the pain and into our own self, where the inner joy, the inner bliss, the inner ecstasy has no payment of pain, has no payment of pain. Inside is all bliss, all light, all love, all God, all the kingdom of God, and there is no boredom whatsoever. It's one enjoyment after the other, after the other, and it keeps on continuing. It keeps on continuing, and the growth keeps on going. So, let me read to you some poems of Kabir, um, uh, beautiful poems of Saint Kabir. Uh, okay, let's see. 1 second, please. Uh, Yeah, this one. Oh, before that one, there was another one I wanted to read. Okay, and this one. Uh, oh, not. I don't want to read this one. Oh, this one I want to read. Okay, this one is about the state of total awareness, the state of Sihaj. In this poem, Kabir describes what saints mean by the term Sihaj. Sihaj is just that natural state of the soul from which it originally came. It is beyond all the physical limitations and changes that govern the world of matter. It is also beyond the causal factors of time and space, creation and destruction. It is changeless, uniform, everlasting, beyond the spiritual regions of Sun, Sunn, a realm above the domain of mind, Maya, and the negative power. It is not to be confused with the state of Samadhi that yogis, that Saint Kabir describes. Um, and he makes it clear that Sahaj is the supreme region where the Lord abides. Concluding, yeah. So, where there is no, here is the poem, where there is neither sea nor rain, nor sun nor shade, where there is neither creation nor dissolution, where prevails neither life nor death, no pain, no pleasure, beyond the state of sun and trance, beyond words, O friend, is that unique state of Sahaj. It can be neither weighed nor exhausted. It is neither heavy nor light. It has no upper regions nor lower ones. It knows not the dawn of day nor the gloom of night, where there is neither wind nor water nor fire. There abides the perfect Master. It is inaccessible. It is incomprehensible. It is and it will ever be. Attain it through the Master's grace. Um, Says Kabir, I surrender myself at the feet of my master. I remain absorbed in his true company. This state, no one can describe it because there is no words. In that state, there is no words. It's beyond the realm of time and space, so it cannot be described. And nobody can know it unless they reach there. Once the soul merges there, then it can know it, but it cannot describe it in the words of this world. The mind cannot, it's beyond the mind, so it cannot be described. Okay, let me read another poem. This one is called The Weaver of Banaras. Around your neck is a sacred thread, but there is no dearth of thread in my house. I daily weave it into cloth. You study Vedas and chant Gayatri, while the Lord Himself resides in my heart. On my tongue dwells the Lord, in my eyes dwells the Lord, and the Lord alone dwells in my heart. O deluded one, when you are questioned at the door of death, what avail will be your taking God's name? O pious Brahmin, we are like cows, you are the cowherd. You are man's guardian at every birth, but you never take us across. To gaze on the banks of bliss, what sort of a guardian are you? You are a holy Brahmin, and I, a poor weaver of Kasi. Why ask what my knowledge is? You are engaged in begging from monarchs and king, and I merely in devotion of my Lord, and I merely in devotion i- to the Lord. So he's just talking, he's just comparing the Brahmin and the priests and the yogis to the perfect disciples who live on their own income, not on the donations of others like kings and queens, and who have real direct contact with the Lord. They don't gaze on the banks of bliss. They don't graze on the banks of bliss, but they are inside bliss. Um, all right, one more poem, and this one only through fear, it says. No one has seen the fearless one, for the fearless one cannot without fear be obtained. So reckon, if one sees the king ever present within, then does he gain true fear? When he realizes his order, he becomes free from fear. So reckon, I. Do not practice hypocrisy to please the Lord, for in hypocrisy the world is already involved. So reckon I, the noose of craving ever taunts, and attachment consume your being. So reckon I, but he burns all worries, he conquers his body, who makes his mind dead. So reckon I, without the master there can be no detachment. Though men keep striving and longing for it, so reckon I. Only through the Lord's grace one meets the true Master. Only then will he attain the state of real detachment. So reckon I. This is the one prayer of Kabir at thy feet. Beloved Lord, ferry me across the dreadful sea. So reckon I. So he is just saying that detachment from everything in this world comes only by the perfect Master's grace. As when we taste something better inside, when we taste the true love inside of us, then we can be detached from the outside objects that take us the other way into fear. And he's saying that to obey Master's commandments is very, very important. That not to cross his commandments, as when if we cross his commandment, Hafiz says, Kabir says that in having fear, because the Lord, we cannot fear the Lord. The Lord is unconditional love, and He loves us, and He's part of us, and He's sitting inside of us. But He told us the way to gain the love and to become complete bliss and to merge in him. He told us the way. He gave us some commandments, be vegetarian, no alcohol, no drugs, and then as the person develops more inside, then there is more commandments from the Lord. Those commandments will be given from inside to us. As we develop inside and we go inside, there is more things that we have to shun. And those come, he will tell us from inside. And then the saints fear transcending the Lord's commandments because they don't want to lose a moment of bliss. They don't want to lose a moment of bliss. They want the Lord with them. And when we transgress master commandments, then he doesn't show himself inside, and that is a state of dryness for the lovers of God. It's a state of drought that they don't see the master inside, and their heart is yearning, and then they learn the lesson to stay in the commandments of the master and not to transcend those commandments. Every true lover of God goes through these periods where they transcend the commandments of the master, and then there is drought inside, and that drought inside causes suffering to the true lovers of the Lord, and then they correct themselves. They correct themselves, and the Lord shows himself again. So it is all a state of just always living in the commandments of the master. And we keep learning every day. Every day is a process where we advance. There is no going back once we are connected with a perfect master. Going back is also a bliss in disguise as we learn the big lessons. Every moment after initiation is in master's hand, and he keeps taking us forward. He keeps taking us forward. It could look that we're going backwards, but still we are going forward. That is what I learned from my master Santakar Singh and from Ishwar Puri Ji and from Baba Sawan Singh. Okay, thank you, Master, for the seva. And now I welcome my very, very, very dear brother, Dr. Chand, and I'm looking forward for his talk.
Thank you very much, Michael. Nice to see you. That's great. And you've been mentioning about Ishwar Puriji's satsang yesterday and beautifully explained the points what Kabir said. Now, this overflowing love in yesterday's song, sung by your friend, was wonderful, Now, today we are talking about the unflinching faith. It's one of the best subjects, how to really develop that faith. And when we start on this path, faith becomes a very major area. That how we can really look into that faith, which is unflinching, should not have any kind of a doubt on it. Mind does create doubts, but the faith has to be so strong, I can quote a small little incidents that once a child, in the hands of his father is playing. Now this child is thrown up into the air, and then the father is standing down there to catch the child. So this is what, suppose if the child is standing at a higher platform and the father tells him to jump from there. Now, without any fear, the child will jump, and because he has got that faith that his father is standing there and he will hold him there. So that is the kind of a faith that one should develop. And even in today's Shabad also, which Jashri been reading, the last line says that again. He says, Satgur pure keh rahe, tu man bachan vishwas. Means whatever the master is saying, you should have that faith in his words, And that's how one has to go ahead on this path. How the faith is developing, because faith generally, if we are at the level of the body and mind, the mind keeps on, creating those doubts, and it is information based. So whatever informations the mind collects, it creates those doubts, and it does not allow you to to have that unflinching faith. Otherwise, things will start immediately. It won't take longer time to get higher stages of meditation, to understand that how we can really achieve our own home. So it is a matter of faith. And how this faith gets dissolved, as very rightly said, that mind is creating doubts. It is providing that information of the past and pre-calculates the future. Fears and worries get added. So all this mind is trying to dislodge you because the mind doesn't want you to have that faith in spirituality, because it is akal, timeless, whereas the mind is time bound. So mind always wants you to remain in its domain and work all that time. The soul must work for the mind and body, its time and material. From the time the creation started 13.7 billion years ago, and science calculates it may go another 22 billion years. Of course, as we understand through this group, through the satsang here, and Ishwar Puriji's analysis, critical thinking, that has told us that this 13.7 billion years and 22 billion years in future is a dream, is a dream. And this life, which is less than 100 years, small little window, is again a dream. Now, looking into the universal dream, universal mind, an astral mind and an astral body, that is a dream. Then, as I mean, you see that in the astral one, you are starting from a single cell to graduate to the crown of creation, the human body, certain millions of years. Now, this is what this area here in this time-bound material creation. Whatever we experience in this body, the events are there. We start thinking that this is what is real. All other is not real. Whereas, even Michael been referring to that how once you rise above, the astral becomes more real than the physical. And then once you go to causal, it looks more real than the astral. And finally, you go beyond, and then you realize that that is what is the truth. And that's what you are. Now, looking into this, how to develop that faith, that unflinching faith in yourself, and how to understand that this body and mind are time bound. And that is what, if we can understand through the words of the masters, that unflinching faith will develop. Otherwise, the mind will keep on putting those doubts, and the satsangs and the scriptures will gradually keep on telling you, and then you will gradually develop that faith. Without that faith, you cannot enter that domain, because the mind does not allow you to do that. It doesn't want you to have faith. As Ishwar Puriji always tells, that the mind is creating doubts. Every now and then it will create a doubt. It will start telling you whether you are doing it right or wrong. Again, it will be a doubt. So all your life, you are busy dealing with body and mind, which will never allow you to have that unflinching faith. So unflinching faith comes with that love, that divine love. And in that, you forget almost everything. And that faith, because each soul is starving for love. All of us here in this group also, we are looking for love. And the Master gives us this love, unconditional love, And this is what is love, which is purely lifts that faith. And that is what is the key to develop that unflinching faith. As I said in the beginning, that if the father is throwing that child into the air and then catching it up again, and then asking the child to jump from a level so that he can catch him, so that child has got that faith in his father that he will hold me. Now, this kind of a faith has to be developed. And I'm very sure here in this group, the kind of stories, the kind of different saints, been explaining the way Saman Singh Ji Maharaj explained, Kripal Singh Ji explained, Ishwar Puri Ji is explaining, all the saints, Thakur Singh Ji is explaining, my mother is explaining. So finally we understand that we are a soul. Now, first thing is to have that faith that you are not body, you are not this mind, you are that soul. And that's a creative intelligence that is connected to its source in real time. And that has got all that ability of critical thinking. Because I say that your soul's outer expression is your attention. And that attention is like an omni scanner. It can see and act in all the directions. It's a capable force. Now, understanding this will develop that faith. And to develop that faith, the saints are now, as Ishwar Puri ji been collecting those real scientific aspects to explain you. Here he explains what dreams are. So he joined that organization in US to see that how they are working on dreams. So he explained that. Now, understanding this part that you are permanent and you have got an acquired mind and a created body. It's a time-bound program. And you have understood that from the area of the astral mind and astral body, you come back to the physical with a smaller window known as prarabdha, because the karmas out of your total karmas, you take a small bunch to manage this time-bound material creation, where you are having a physical experience for a short while. So this is what has to be understood, that you are that permanent aspect. And then how nicely you are being explained that once you rise, you take up your attention from this side to that side, it starts leaving the body, then it leaves the mind, and then you understand that you are that soul. And then gradually you understand you and the master are one. And then you understand that even the Almighty and you are the same. Now, looking into this and how to develop this faith, we are trying to bring in those scientific aspects, because the modern world, the education system has made you to ask for proofs. And for proofs, this body is here. This is a lab. And in this lab, you have got all those proofs. But they would like to get certain other proofs. I do not know what. So this is how we've been even using that part. Last time I said the whole cosmos is one living entity, because those Planck satellites, cameras, been scanning the sky for many years. And that beautiful picture emerged, the whole cosmos like a big baseball kind of a thing, having billions of stars and galaxies floating into it. And the latest scientific informations keep on telling you that how deep it is, how huge it is, billions of light years away. Now, understanding these areas, that the whole visible cosmos has got three basics. It has got a floating material bodies, the body of the cosmos. It has got a universal mind. That universal mind is embedded with information system and laws of nature. Every action has got an equal and opposite reaction. And that energy, which is forever there, this we explain through science, this particle and wave, that it is a particle of light and connected with the sound. The wave is a sound. So, understanding this, that the whole cosmos is one living entity and you are part of that. As my finger is part of my body, I am part of the whole. My material body is made out of those elements, As per periodic table, the whole cosmos is made of that. My mind I have acquired from the universal mind, and my soul is connected to its source. Now, this particular faith has to be developed. You got to know that you are the force which is doing it. And as we explain in our co-aim theory and practice, which is correlation of your attention with information and material. Information is your mind, having information system and laws of nature. All that information is there, and the material body. So this correlation, if we can understand how easy it is to develop that unflinching faith, because without that faith, you won't even like to sit in meditation. If the faith is there, if you have understood how the faith is developing, because once you get tormented in this world all the time, as Nanak says, Dukhiya sab sansar. Now, once we reach to those areas, and as a seeker we start seeking the Almighty, that is the stage from where the faith will start developing. Because if you look at yourself, as I say, that look, there is an energy which is running your system 24/7. It is your breathing is going on, blood flow is on, all those systems are working. The digestive system takes out all those nutrients, sends it to various locations in the body to strengthen that. So this particular information, that how the science is telling you all this, it really gives us that tremendous faith it had given me. And I hope that all of you have got that faith. And similarly, you can convey it to the children that who's doing it. Small little questions you can develop, and then gradually start developing that faith in the Almighty. That how we are representing that, how we are connected. We are the ones who are representing the Absolute and doing here. And then to have that faith that mind is nothing but information of time. The experiences and events in this body. Once you start dwelling on these points, using the critical analysis, using the mind as a tool, that is how you will be able to know this, and the faith will develop. Now see that how many a times I have said that how that small little single cell in the mother's womb, how it is made, the egg and the sperm, and how this zygote cell has got all the information of the whole body in that small little cell, which is difficult to see in a microscope also. Now see, it has got that ability to develop the whole body, each organ of your body. It becomes from one to many there. Now what a great example of the Almighty, that He was one and alone in the beginning, became from one to many. And then that cell, which has got that life, has got that divine ability to become from one to many again. It adds on to my faith. As I kept on looking into these things of science, each part blessed me with that unflinching faith in that divine power which is within me, runs my body, runs my 100 trillion cells. It's a conglomerate of 100 trillion cells. They're all connected. So we are about 7 point odd billion people on this earth. Why can't we understand this, all of us? And if Michael can live, and if our friend Paul has got that beautiful love, it flows out of him, why not the whole humanity? It is all based on that unflinching faith, as Rumi explains, as Bulle Shah explains, as all other saints, Kabir and all those scriptures, the Gurbani we listen in the beginning, It is all conveying that. So how to really make our own self understand about this unflinching faith is a must on this path. Without that, you can't even enter within. You can't even close your eyes and make your mind still, because the mind will keep on pushing you into past and future. And you will start taking interest in that. What happened yesterday and how you got to manage tomorrow. So this is how the mind will keep you busy here, and it won't allow you to develop that faith in yourself, that what you are. Now, to develop all this, I think the best part is this, that in this group every day the satsang is happening. And that satsang conveys minute details to make that unflinching faith about yourself. So how this particular thing has to be understood, and how that faith comes. So gradually it will start coming. First of all, we understand that this body is for a short while. Then by understanding this in a satsang, that we are here in a physical body with an acquired mind for a while here, then how we deal with the astral region, how big information it has got, how many lifetimes been there. Of course, it starts from a single cell. Then how many times we had a human body, coming and going, dying and again uh, coming back to the astral region and again coming here in a physical form. We are doing all this, Now this critical thinking, and if this particular knowledge is being given here of Santmat, the Surat Shabad Yog, how simple it is now to develop this faith. And I'm very sure all of us gradually are developing. The Sevadars who speak about it, they understand this phenomena, and this is developing. My dear, again I'll request that some kind of your own versions for this faith has to be given to the next generation. That's the job. Actually, each one of us is a seeker. As soon as you get into troubles of your life, you become a strong seeker. But at the same time, even an ordinary living person happily also is a seeker, actually. He's trying to know. So now our job is to distribute this knowledge to the rest of the world. Whatever little we can do, of course, those people, the marked souls, will understand. Our job is just to do satsangs. And out of that satsang, the seeker will join hands because he's looking for it. And due to this merciful nature of the soul, it wants to seek those seekers, as Master seeks you. He finds you by one way or the other. And with all those stories, my faith becomes still stronger. That he found us. We can't find him. He finds us and puts us in such a situation, those circumstances, those incidences of life happen. That why I was born in this home, why my mother is a saint, how I got connected with chain of the saints. Now this is what we are all lucky. We are having the discourses of all the saints. And each one of us, each speaker conveys. See that Gregory, how he explains, how nicely the Dwight explains things. So I think we must develop that faith to go in. And once we have the faith, the meditation becomes so effective immediately without any wasting of time. Because my mother used to tell me कि मन कुछ समय तक फुरनाएं उठाता रहता है. Means the mind keeps on giving you some information or the other for the initial 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes for the beginners. It happens. The mind keeps on withdrawing you. But if you have got that faith, after understanding that mind will do like this, then you have that patience. The next stage will appear, that this Purna, where you are thinking past and future, stops. Then you go ahead, and how the saints have told, they don't give attention to the mind, because mind is using your attention to be alive, to be kicking, to go into past and future. Once you put off the light of the mind, what is the light of the mind? Is your attention. So simple. So you switch off this attention from the mind. You switch off this attention from the body. Body is dead. So while living, you are learning how to die before you die. Every day you die. Whenever you sit in meditation, you are dying. So that experience, how it really develops. It's something wonderful in these satsangs. And I think I have done my part, Michael. So would like to listen to the master now. And if anybody wants to talk anything on these points which I put before you, I'll welcome some of you to talk on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chant. That was amazing talk, like always. We love it. And trust and faith just fortifies us in this world. We will be fortified with the trust, faith, and the love of Master, and then nothing can shake us. Nothing can shake us outside, and nothing can shake us inside. That we are
Right,
like a big fort of God.
right, right.
Thank you so much.
And here in this group, we are much more than a fort, We are all over the world, many places. That's good. It should increase now.
Yes.
And I'll welcome those Chinese. You said you could see them in the
Yeah.
group.
Yes,
Something wonderful.
Luna and Jenny. And if they want to do seva, like I know Jenny, she has children. If they want to do seva, singing or something, we would love to play them here. Or Luna.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful. This club.
All right.
This family is great.
Yes. Okay, so now we can meditate for a few minutes, and I'll play master by random.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, friends, to this afternoon session of our final day. Some of you might wonder why I spend so much time greeting you when I come every time. I fold my hands, look at all of you. I feel like personally saluting your souls. I feel like seeing each one of you separately give you a hug. That's what I feel. But I know we neither have the time nor the opportunity. Therefore, I try to do my best using my best imagination I can. So I try to feel that I am that close to you because you look so close to me. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what kind of friendship I feel with you. And that's my way of expressing my friendship to you. So I can't help it but look at each one of you every time I come. That's the kind of feeling one has. At my age, I also feel you're all like my children. Some have got white beard also. A lot of my children with white beards. Only my master was different white beard. You see his photo here. This is a wonderful opportunity that you came here for a holiday party. If you want to have a holiday every day and every night, please follow a simple tip of mine. Every day spend some time inside yourself as you spend time outside. It's as simple as that. Try to understand where imagination comes from. Just because you call it imaginary does not make it imagination. What is the source of imagination? Look into it. It's not coming from outside. It's all coming from inside. Just searching for this one thing can bring you closer to yourself. When you imagine things other than what you're seeing outside, that means a fantasy, going to another galaxy, meeting aliens, for example. Just giving an example. You say, I'm meeting aliens. What do they look like? What do they resemble? Do they have any resemblance with us? Pure imaginary. But can you imagine something that you have never seen? Does imagination function on memory? Does imagination only include what you've already seen, that you can just remember it and become imagination? Or can imagination transcend that and give you experiences, visions, which do not even exist here at all? When you look into that part, you will find the power of imagination. And therefore, imagination is not imaginary, as we always believed. So, what is the help that imagination gives us in terms of effective, good meditation? The help is that what we imagine, other than imagining things outside, which are attachments, our desires and attachments outside come up all the time. And we are not imagining them, we are remembering them. Imagination is beyond remembering. You just remember what you saw outside, it's just a memory. But when you imagine something which you're not connected with outside, you are actually entering closer to your own self. So imagine, when you imagine you are inside, you are flying inside. You can't fly with this body, but you're flying inside. You're flying and seeing new places. That imagination which you feel that you can place yourself completely, forgetting what's happening to your body and the world outside. Just fly inside and you'll get so much closer to yourself, and you can have a vacation, a holiday every day and every night. So you can imagine how these enlightened people, how they say they have a holiday every day and every night, because they live in a world which exists in each one of us, but we don't enter it. We are so consumed by our attachments outside, attachments to people and things who will never go with us. It's amazing. And sometimes we feel, oh, these are very dear to us, these friends. These children are going to be very nice. One man tried an experiment. He told his doctor, I'll pretend I am dead, and you come and take my pulse and say he's dead. Then we'll watch what happens to my children around. So all the children gathered, your dad is very sick. So the doctor said, I'm sorry to say your father is very sick. So please come all over. So all gathered around him. And he saw the pulse, took a, oh, sorry, he's dead. Oh, we are very sorry, we are crying. Somebody said, where is his checkbook, Have you any access to his accounts? Where did he keep his keys? The man heard all those things and he woke up. He said, now I know what you're interested in. We have no idea. When we die, physically leave the body, then we watch what our children are doing. Big disappointment. We think, oh, they're ours. Nobody's ours. Nobody's ours except what is inside. We ourselves are ours, not anybody outside. They are short-lived. And the greatest surprise comes to us if we can go higher than just this inner body and discover we thought they were children, they are grandfather. This man I thought was my wife, was my mother. What was I doing? When you discover such strange experiences, you discover what was I thinking of? This is just a rotation of forms and bodies that are taking place. And I was thinking, these are mine like this form. These are temporary forms created for a particular show. They will mean nothing to you when you go in. People have come to me, a child has died, and now where is he? And I check up, where is the child? I say, child is giving lectures to you. Because the child happened to be your father. Child happened to be your grandfather who loved you as a grandchild, just became a child for this life and left early. You are still alive. There are so many cases like this all the time. So what are we thinking? That these relationships are all that relationship is? Not at all. We have had these relationships many times over. And they were all different. Not the same we are having now. This is a game going on. Spend time inside. Some time. I am not saying all the time. I am not saying leave your world and go away. Some people say, is it necessary to give up worldly connection, worldly duties? Is it necessary to remain single? Is it necessary to be celibate? Is it necessary to all these things to get enlightenment? I said, not at all. I can tell you from my experience that those who do that never get enlightened. I find people try to practice celibacy, their mind is constantly on celibacy. Why they're having it? This is a strange game. We are trying to force ourselves to do things which are not natural. And our own state is free and natural. We are supposed to be free people, free and natural. And trying to do unnatural things will bring you some peace. It only puts pressure on us. Be natural. Be absolutely natural. There's so much natural stuff inside. Just go in and see. Imagination is natural to us. The sense of finding out who am I really is natural to us. The discovery of the truth is natural to us. We all want to know the truth. Why? It's natural to us. So be natural about these things. Not force yourself. But if naturally you have created a show, you have a wife, you have got children, you have a job, you do them as efficiently as you can. Not, oh, I am doing my spiritual thing, I can't take care of you. A person who says that to his family will never get enlightened. Because this will bother him all the time, all his life. Do your duty as best as you can. Lord Krishna says about yoga. What is true yoga? When he talks of the yoga of karma, yoga of sankhya or gyan, yoga of bhakti, he says, yoga karma su kaushalam. Yoga is doing your action with the utmost skill that you have. Perform your duties to everybody that comes in your life set up by you with the utmost skill that you have. Do your very best. And then see who you are inside. There's no clash between the two. How are we creating a clash between a setup that we have come here in a physical body with outside obligations, which we can easily fulfill? What has that to do with going inside and finding out who you are? There's no clash at all. I would be completely devoid of any knowledge at all if I count all the jobs I have done. I have been busy with jobs all my life. I have just told you the other day, I'm taking a new job again. Does it mean I give up spirituality to take a job? Not at all. Make your job part of the spirituality. It's part of the pattern. It's part of the package. Understand, have the awareness where these things come from. They're all coming from inside, including your obligations, including your karma, including your jobs. They're coming from inside. Spend time inside and understand the nature of what you're doing outside. That's the beautiful thing. That's why I say, I wish you all great vacations all year long. 2019, 2020, 2021. I can keep on counting forever. You can enjoy yourself forever if you go inside. Outside, limited time. Unfortunately. Outside, very limited time. We are wearing bodies which have very limited time. Can't help it. Nobody has been able to help it. There are some people who question this. If perfect living masters really have that power, that they can do anything, the first thing they should do should be, if they have come into this world to help us, to have a perfect body. Never fall sick, because they have control. They should be absolutely healthy and live for several thousand years to help many people. Why do they die like us? They die like us with diseases like our diseases. Why? They don't understand that if a person with 1,000-year life was alive today, he could never be our friend. We couldn't have the experience of love which we can have with a human being like ourselves. We don't understand this. That if a perfect living master is not like us, we will not have the friendship that we ought to have with a perfect living master as an ideal friend of ours. That's why perfect living masters are completely like us, ordinary persons. Extraordinary persons don't give us enlightenment, nor are they our friends. They can speak from a pedestal and we can worship them from a distance and go to square one again. How many have not tried that out? Then we go to very highly evolved people. They talk very high stuff. They quote from many books. They quote from many scriptures. We go there, we listen to them, and we come back and have a fight with our wives and children again. The same day, same thing, back to square one. Nothing happened. We don't feel the friendship and love for them. An ordinary person coming just like us, hiding inside what he knows, becomes a friend. Then suddenly we discover he's more than that, he's more than that, and ultimately finding he's everything. The friendship never goes away. That is why they appear to us, these perfect living masters, who are very rare, very few. They appear to us as ordinary, completely ordinary people, like us, sometimes more ordinary than ourselves. They appear as ordinary people, and they never change their ordinariness while they're in their physical bodies. We see history sometimes, and we wonder why Kabir, people are reciting his poems, almost worshipping him. Why he could not give up weaving his cloth and making a small living. He could have done anything in his own life. He had opportunities. He remained a weaver. Why Ravidas, a perfect living master, remained a cobbler whose shop was outside King Pipa's palace. The king's palace, he was sitting outside, and the king was his disciple. The king implored him so many times, please come and move to my palace and live there. And he said, no, my destiny is to mend shoes, to make shoes. I'll keep on making shoes. And he perfect living master. Why did he do that? Because he became a friend. He became a great friend. The king had some feeling, if he's really that great, then I should get something really good people are getting from him. I seem to be too high for him. I am a king, and he's just a cobbler, shoemaker outside. One day, he decided early morning, before anybody wakes up. Otherwise, people wake up, they say, what are you going to do? I'm going to see a cobbler. Why? You're a king. The king ego was still in his head, but he decided anyhow, secretly, early morning, 3 o'clock, he should go and see this master and ask for his blessings and grace. And he got up and he went to Ravidas, who was by that time repairing a shoe. And he was dipping a piece of leather in water to make it wet before he can stitch it on. The king appeared. Ravidas got up. Your Majesty, what brings you here at this time? 3 o'clock at night? He said, I have not come as the king now. I have come as a beggar for your grace. Give me grace. Ravidas, eyes with tears of love for him, said, here is some holy water, drink it. And that dirty water with the leather in it, he just took it like this, and drink it. And the king was horrified. The kingship came back in him. He said, this is the blessing I came for? Little dirty water he's giving me? He tried to do like this, not to offend him, allowed the dirty water to go in his sleeve of his shirt. Ran back, called his confidential assistant. Look, I made a mistake today. I went early morning to that so-called cobbler, that master, and I thought he'll give me some enlightenment, some grace. All he did was pour the dirty water from that bowl in which leather was there, and I was very careful. I didn't drink it. I allowed it to go, but I noticed it has caused a stain on my shirt. Will you please, right now, early morning, go and wake up the laundryman, the washerman who's on the premises of the palace. Get it cleaned right now, dried, and bring it back to me in the morning so nobody should know what happened. So the attendant took that shirt with a little stain on the sleeve and went to the washerman. Oh, he woke up sleepy. He said, yes, what early morning you have come at 3:30 in the morning? He said, there's a very urgent work. This shirt has to be washed, cleaned immediately. So the daughter of that washerman, that laundryman, woke up. Dad, what's going on? She said, I have to wash this shirt. She said, give it to me. You guys hold. She took the shirt, and when she tried to wash it, the stain wouldn't go. And she began to bite on it just to squeeze away the stain. And as she did that, her eyes opened up. She remembered her past life, and she began to tell her dad things about other worlds. He said, what's happened to you, daughter? That shirt contained something very strange. That shirt and that stain contained something I can't explain. In the morning, the dad told other people, other washermen came, other people came in the palace. The little girl is giving spiritual talks. He said, how is it? How certainly enlightenment has come to this girl? So the king heard that the washerman's daughter has got it. He said, oh my God, this must be my shirt. And I missed out the whole thing. My ego as a king did not let me realize what he was giving. So he went to the daughter in the washerman's hut, and he got up. The daughter bowed her head. King said, don't bow to me. I have come to bow to you. He said, no, I'm not bowing to you as the king. I am bowing to you because you gave me all that I got. It was all in your shirt. It's all the sleeve of your shirt. The king felt so remorseful how he missed this great opportunity. He ran to Ravidas again. Please give me a little more of that water. He said, it's not the water. There's nothing in the water. It's dirty water. It's only sometimes these opportunities come when your desire is strong to find the truth inside and you reach a perfect master. He looks at your desires. He is moved by it. He is a person, human being with compassion and love of such an extent. He wants to give you whatever he can at that time. That was the moment when you came to me at 3 o'clock in the morning. And this was just an excuse. Now you meditate and do the homework I'll tell you with your mind. In 20, 25 years, you'll get exactly what you could have got in 1 second. Such are the stories we hear We don't understand these things. We don't know the whole wealth is already lying inside each one of us. We just need a little trigger. And who can give a trigger other than a human being who knows what is inside us and is seeing it already? That's a perfect living master. Take full advantage. I know many of you are initiated by perfect living masters. Take full advantage. Don't lose time. Don't think this is just a side business and the worldly obligations are greater. Do the worldly obligations. Perform your duties as best as you can. To your family, your children, your job, your boss, your employees, whoever are connected with you, with every person, do your duty as efficiently, as skillfully as you can, and visit inside what's going on in the world of your imagination, the world of reality that you think is imaginary. And from there, move forward to the whole source of creation, which lies in the causal plane. And if you have a perfect living master in your life, which you can get by seeking that, if you seek and search inside you, perfect master comes automatically. You can't find him. Ordinary person, how can you find? What is different about him? Just an ordinary person. But you will find, as you associate with that ordinary person, you find more and more and more about that person, about yourself. Ultimately, you start a journey inside and you find that the perfect living master was no other than your own highest self, your own truth. Your own truth of your own head, of your own self appearing outside as a human being. What greater miracle do you want to see? What greater miracle have you achieved? Tell me something better, that you can find your own true self, the highest self, the creative power of the whole creation, universe, sitting not only in your own head, by your own planning, your own creation, outside in the form of a human being whom we call a perfect living master. Such is the beauty of this creation, beauty of our own arrangement to go back home when we like. Very happy you are all on the same journey I am. I call you my fellow travelers. We are fellow travelers, same destination to discover our true home where we belong. This is temporary. Take it as temporary. It is temporary. Nobody has made it perfect or permanent. So it's an imperfect world. Wherever the mind has come and divided things, mind's method is analysis, divide, separate, then see. And it creates all the experiences by separation, division. Soul wants unity, one. Let's get back to that oneness. The big difference in the destinations, big difference in the goals of the mind and the soul. Mind wants experience, separate, further away, more travel, further, fast and away. And soul wants backwards, inwards, where your true home is. Go and find the truth about the self. Two different goals. Be the soul and your physical life. Use the mind as necessary. It's a very good computer. Use it well, but don't get used by it. Don't let the artificial intelligence go to that level. Somebody told me in 30, 40 years, artificial intelligence, AI, will become so strong, they will tell us what to do. I said, they are already telling us what to do. A bigger computer with greater AI is already telling us. It will be no different. Now we are being guided by a computer in the head, then be guided by a computer outside. I was wrong when I said computer outside. They are telling me the computer will also be in the brain cells inside in the future. So there's no difference at all. What we are doing now, what will happen then? Only we'll think, now another guy has come in to sitting inside. Now one is sitting already, the mind, a second mind has now come in to talk to us. We are slaves. Be free. Souls are meant to be free, not slaves. Why be slaves when we discover we are slaves? Get rid of it. Assert your spiritual self, not the ego of the mind. You will enjoy your holidays. I wish you all great holidays. Enjoy. We'll see you in 2019. And bye-bye, goodbye for now. Thank you. Let's try today meditation behind the eyes with love and devotion.